if I hadn't clicked that button and made money out of it, I wouldn't have had this trading career that I've had, and I'm very grateful for that. Actually, the first trade for a lot of traders is nearly always a winner. That coin toss comes up heads.
I'm going to come to you though with a question, James, and ask you two questions. I'm going to ask you, what was your sort of best trade you've ever taken, and or you could also substitute with best trading lesson, and then the opposite, the worst trading lesson as well.
Sure. So best trade I've ever taken. Well, let me start with the bad one. The worst trade I've ever taken. I think I did mention it on the last time I was on the show when Boris was the host. I was trying to short the pound dollar, and I ended up losing what was about $20,000 on the one trade. So that was my worst trade I had. Incorrect lot size, everything like that. Came back to the charts later on and saw that flip, and that wasn't when I was scalping. I was like trading intraday, swinging, and came back and had lost $20,000. So that wasn't a great trade. My best trade though, I did have on GJ. It was pound yen. I know we were speaking about that earlier on. That was to the downside, and I think that was during COVID, where everything was moving really, really erratically. And that was in 2020, near the end of 2020, and that was also about 20. I made about $20,000 odd on that trade as well. So those were my best trade and my worst trade.
Excellent. Same questions to you, Michael. Sort of best trade, best lesson, worst lesson, if you like, from trading.
I think that's a difficult one. I've never had any really, really bad losses. I've always been good at going, right, cut it. You know, I'm quite a good decision maker, and I've always been able to accept loss. So that is one of my big trading strengths. I think that all traders need to learn to accept loss and not hide from it. So I've never really lost on a trade, and that happens to so many traders. And it's just you just don't want that to be happening. So I have had series of losses and periods where my trading hasn't been great, but it's never really overstacked the trading accounts that I've had. So I've been fortunate in that way. I mean, I think that the best trade that I ever took will be the first trade I ever took. I think it was back in gold when I first started looking at trading and thought I knew everything. And I didn't think I knew everything. I knew nothing, except that I had to press the button, and that was all I thought I needed to do. And it did make me money, and that then hooked me on to this, and now I have a whole career out of it. So that's my best trading decision, because if I hadn't clicked that button and made money out of it, I wouldn't have had this trading career that I've had, and I'm very grateful for that. Actually, the first trade for a lot of traders is nearly always a winner. That coin toss comes up heads.
Yeah. It's that interesting from a psychological point of view, isn't it? You don't have that fear when you're taking your first trade. You almost trade like you're trading a sim account when you've not got that fear. Because a lot of people can make money on a demo sim account because they're trading, they don't care the ideal trading state, and then you switch on to real money and it makes a big difference. But yeah, that first trade can often be big, and you think, oh, this is really easy, and then the market gives you certainly some reality checks in that respect, doesn't it? I remember meeting you all the way back in 2011. It's been a long time now, hasn't it?
It has.
Yeah, absolutely. James, what sort of tips would you give to people who are looking to make a living from trading and retain that consistency that's essential to continue making a living?
Sure, I would say, in my opinion, that's why I love being on shows like this and getting invited. I learned so much from Michael talking about him, because he's like a lot older than me, but I love that because I can learn
only a little bit.
But I love it because I can learn so much from. I love learning every single day. So my tips in my short career compared to Michael's is that I would just say have no expectations, because just go in every single day just trying to be better. As soon as you try and I need to make X amount of dollars this month and so forth, you start to chase things, you start to do unnecessary things, take unnecessary risks, and also it leads to disappointment, because then when you don't get that at the end of each month, you're going to feel disappointed, but you actually could have still done well that month. So I think having no expectations, and then just be like a sponge, just always be learning and willing and humble enough to learn from each and every single person that you come across in your life, because everybody's got some sort of positivity and experience to share with you.
Yeah, I think you raised a good point there. You're essentially saying it's more process focused rather than outcome focused. Don't think about targets and outcomes. You've got to follow the process that leads to those as well. And it's very, very difficult as a trader to do that because you've always got the money dangling as well. Robin says, first one was indeed profitable. Wish I could say why my first was profitable, says Julian. Yeah, it's just one of those things, isn't it? It's all just about, one trade in a sequence of different trades. How about you, Michael? Same advice?
Yes, I mean, the word that James just mentioned there was need. And as we well know, Simon, that every time we've ever been contacted by a trader wanting help, if they use the word need, I need this, I need that, I need, we know that they're going to be psychologically challenged by that. So deal with your needs, your personal needs, your financial needs separately, and learn trading in a different mode. And then you can start to build it and then let it help you out in the rest of your life. Don't trade because you need to, trade because you want to.